Land and adequate housing in South Africa are well-documented issues. While the South African government has made progress in building many homes over the last 25 years, more is, some would say, desperately needed. How can this process be speeded up? Well, the South African Housing and Infrastructure Fund says they have a solution. They will fast-track the delivery of serviced stands. What does this mean for the poor and middle-class South Africans? Well, let's find out. Rali Mampeule joins me now live in studio. He's the founder and CEO of the South African Housing and Infrastructure Fund. Rali, thank you very much indeed for your time. So you are not developers, you're not seeking to buy agricultural land, and you're not looking to buy land meant for expropriation without compensation. So how will this work? How would you acquire land?
Yeah, good morning and good morning to your viewers. We're quite excited about the process. Basically what we do is that the high-end property developments are under stress currently. Mm-hmm. The fund has gone out and bought a lot of properties within the urban edge, where developers were going to be doing high-end developments, and we bought those with the infrastructure. What we then did is to rezone those pieces of land around 5 provinces and rezone them into affordable housing stands. This becomes in service stands that the middle and the poor or lower earners can be able to benefit in getting housing quicker.
Yeah. So just tell us about the current trends and what you've been finding, because you obviously have an appetite to buy. What have you found?
So basically because of the expropriation of land without compensation debate, we're seeing a lot of fire sales happening. And we went out and said, how can we turn this into an opportunity? Right. We went to the market and actually raised some money and closed in 5 provinces we've got about 15.3 billion rand pipeline of land that we are going to be able to service and actually install services. So we're seeing the whole expropriation of land without compensation as an opportunity for us to be able to deliver on the 1.7 million shortfall of housing that government is working on.
So what you're saying, that people are offloading their land, they panic selling, so to speak, and at a good price?
Yeah, so we call it a fire sale. So good or bad, we're not sure about it, but the bottom line is that obviously people who are owning land, even in the urban edge, they're just not sure about where is this land debate going to go. And we're saying between then and when government makes the decision, our people still need to get housing. And that's how we came up with the fund. We're quite excited about the fund, and we really feel that we're going to meet government halfway in terms of delivering housing quicker than the current format.
Yeah. Rali, talk to us about getting the land ready for property development. What's the process?
So the process is that we do town planning, where you basically move land that is in the urban edge that maybe does not have the right zoning for affordable housing. Yeah. We'll then submit, we go through town planning, we do geotech, we do environmental impact study. We then go and actually put out tenders to black entrepreneurs to come and actually install services. That is your water, sewer, and electricity. And we get the land ready. We don't do the top structure. Right. We then offload that to listed and unlisted companies. And the majority of our buyers has been government. And we're looking forward into really resolving the housing crisis in South Africa.
So you basically, the fund is basically a conduit in the development process.
Yes. So if you talk the IT term, Sahif has come up with an algorithm on how to speed up the process of installing of services in South Africa. So you will see that in South Africa, some of the Department of Human Settlement and Water and Sanitation, now they call it, have done a lot of work in the past 25 years. Right. But what also had happened is that there are times where some provinces, and not all of them, get budgets, and you find that they take back maybe 10 to 15% of the actual budget unspent, simply because they don't have the underlying asset to put and install those services. And because the process of installing services and doing the town planning can take up to 3 years. Right. So in South Africa, we don't have money problem. We actually have processes problem. So we came up with that algorithm, and that is our idea of how we can speed up the delivery of affordable housing in South Africa.
Well, let's look at your targets in terms of speeding up this delivery. You're targeting, what, 108,000 service stands within the next 3 years. Is that realistic?
Yeah, so it's quite realistic. So what we've done, as I mentioned, the fund is going to become big and it will go into other provinces. So we've secured about 14 parcels of land within the 5 provinces.
Right.
And 85% of that land, as I indicated earlier on, is already developments that have gone under. So you will know, if you go to high end where you're selling your 3-4 million rand properties, you don't have a lot of people buying at this point in time because of the market crisis. And we took advantage of that, and that is speeding up the process for us to be able to deliver this, the services. So we then buy properties on auction, we buy developments that have gone under, and with this 14 piece of land, we are then able to quickly move faster than your typical where you get agricultural piece of land and you must go through the rezoning.
Right.
So the process will go faster, and we believe we can be able to do this in 3 years. Of course, 1.7 million houses is a lot of houses. Government can't do this on their own. And we urge other private sectors to actually join in this. And, since we've launched on Tuesday, last Tuesday on the 2nd of July, we had calls from other funds, even international funds, saying this is an impact fund. How can we help you?
Look, there's an important section of society that needs to be tackled as well. The so-called missing middle, those that can't afford a bond or can't get a bond, but don't qualify for an RDP house as well. Are you targeting that as well?
So that's exactly part of our target market. So what will happen in this case is that, as you know, we've got other listed companies like Calgro, Cosmopolitan, who are playing in the affordable housing space, and most of them don't like to do what they call land banking. So as Sahif, the South African Housing Infrastructure Fund, we are able to do land banking because of how we've structured our fund. We then offload to those type of companies as well, except government, and they are then able to sell the stands at a very cheap price to the missing group. But also government, if and when they buy some of our land, they are then able to locate some of this piece of land to the people that are not affording an RDP, cannot be able to get an RDP and cannot afford a bond.
How different is this from what is already in place?
Yeah, I think that's a good question. So the bottom line is that we feel that we've changed the model by simply be able to change how quickly we can service the piece of land. So if you're going to use the model where you're going to move land from agriculture into a township establishment, that model will take you long. So our model is simple. We are playing what we call it, we are echoing government's model of integrated development, where we are saying that people must work and live closer to where they work. They should be able to play and live closer to work. And by doing so, the only way you can do that is that you can only do that by buying urban edge properties that are already in the areas closer to work.
Right.
A lot of people travel, get into 3-4 taxis just to get to work. So when we pick up these properties at a good price, it becomes an opportunity for us to be able to bring people closer to where they work. So we feel that's the differentiator that we have between ourselves and what is currently happening.
What do you have so far in terms of land? Which provinces are you looking at?
So we've secured about, as I indicated, about 14 pieces of land around the country. So we have a big participation in Gauteng, Mpumalanga, Western Cape, Limpopo and Free State. And in fact, in Gauteng alone, we have already managed to partner and do a huge development of about 400 hectares where we are yielding just under 4,000 stands that we're going to deliver before the end of the year with the provincial government of Gauteng.
Where are you getting your money from?
So basically, for the last we've been in the industry for the last 18 years. We've put about 1.7 billion rand of our own land into the fund. And essentially, that gives us a good self-funding model to be able to implement the 15.3 billion rand fund. So what we'll then do, in most cases, in all the 14 pieces of land that we've secured, in most cases, we've gotten involved in a land availability agreement. In some cases, we put non-refundable deposit so that we are then able to go and actually work on the land and get an offtake. When we get an offtake with our balance sheet, we are able to raise funding, and we have in partnership now with one of the financial institutions where they are able to give us a bridging finance to unlock the 15.3 billion rand fund. So it's a self-funding model. We are not going out on the market to raise finance. We have put our own money into the fund, and we're looking forward to make a difference and help government in delivering housing quicker.
Well, speaking about making a difference, look, Rali, we currently tackling one of the key issues here in South Africa is unemployment. It's sitting at what, over 27% when you look at it. What about job creation through all this?
So this has been exciting for us. I've played in the space where we build hotels and office parks, and that has been great for us. But we're saying that private sector know how to do this. Yeah. You can see how many houses have built in South Africa quicker from the private sector point of view. So we are sitting here with an opportunity where we're going to be giving about 11,700 construction opportunities for people to get jobs within the space of 3 years. These are just construction jobs, but you'll imagine once you've got 100,000 properties on the market, which will make an impact and change people's lives of almost about 430 lives will be changed from the 100,000 savvy stands. That will then obviously create jobs, not only for construction, but you're going to have new deeds office where you need to register the land. You're going to have to employ more manpower. You're going to need geotech, town planners, and EIAs. So we're quite excited about the job creation that we can contribute to the need of make sure that the youth is employed in this country as well.
Look, people need land, people need housing, and if it works, we're all for it. So thank you very much for coming in and explaining it to us. That was Rali Mampeule, who is the founder and CEO of the South African Housing and Infrastructure Fund.